What you need to know about today's video is that it's going to sound like an ARG, but I promise you right now that it's not. Have you guys been seeing all this stuff about the Smart Schoolboy 9 Instagram account lately? I first heard about this from Nexpo, and of course Nick Crawley made a video about this. However, I was still a little confused about what was going on. If you're curious about this viral mystery, this is probably the biggest internet mystery that is going to happen to us in 2024, if not in the past decade. Trust me, this is going to be on every creepy iceberg for years to come. However, like I said, even after watching videos, I still didn't really understand what was going on, so I thought maybe it was like that for other people too. So I wanted to make a video explaining it in a more digestible way and a little bit more, less of the spooks and more of the just explaining to you what's going on so that everybody is on the same page. I am going to explain what is going on. We're going to react to some of the videos together so you also get more of an idea of what these accounts really were. We're going to debunk some of the rumors going on, and then I am going to tell you my theory of what I believe is happening. Now, first, this video is not sponsored, but I am dropping the merch in this video. So if you've been waiting for the merch or you want to see what amazing design I came up with my artist, even if you're new to the channel, you might really like the design. So please stick with me. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about my merch line because I'm so excited to share it with you guys. However, of course, if you are brand new here, you really don't care, feel free to skip ahead. I'll have timestamps down below. It's Friday the 13th when this video goes up. I picked that date on purpose because I thought it would be fun to start off our spooky season, start off not only a Friday the 13th, but then a amazing design that you guys are all gonna want for Halloween. So, okay, are you ready? I'm so excited. Okay. Let's see. Here's the merch design. I have a few t-shirts here that I'm going to show you, but here it is. Can you see that? Hopefully. I'll put an actual design up on the screen, but this is the merch design. It's called the Camping Cryptids. And as you could see, there's a Mothman, there's a ghost, there's an alien, and there's a Sasquatch, and they are camping around a fire. The idea of this shirt, the idea of the design is that instead of humans sitting around a campfire talking about ghost stories, all those ghosts and cryptids are actually somewhere in a parallel universe sitting around a campfire talking about us. This has so many details. So let me pull out a different shirt for you. This is my favorite one so far. We have tie-dyes. It has a transparent background. So some of the color in the tie-dye comes out in the design. And as you can see, this is a different, so the other one is a brown hues and this one's the dark hues that we have on light colors. So the whole idea, if you look closely, there's also lots of details to discover in this. So for example, Mothman has a beer. Alien, there's a little chocolate bar down there. And if you look very carefully on the tree behind everybody, there is a little carving in the tree that has a little heart and an HTH in it for Hannah the Horrible. That is the only thing in the shirt that has anything referencing my channel or that it's YouTube merch. I wanted to make something that anybody could wear without feeling like they were just advertising for a YouTube channel. So there's the tie-dye. It's so cool. I love it. Okay. And then I have this green one. So here's the full color one. So this one is... there's no transparent background. It's the full color that can go on any color. And then we also have, this is what I'm going to put on because I'm cold, but we also have a hoodie. So this is also the brown one with the transparent background. So I just had this idea for this cool little cryptids around the campfire thing come into my mind. And I really wanted to, I couldn't make it myself. So I wanted to hire an artist. My friend Tim is the mastermind behind these. So Tim and I have been longtime friends. We were roommates for 1 year in college in a house full of a bunch of people. And we are still all in the same friend group and we still hang out all the time. A little bit more about Tim. He went to Cornish, which is a private art school here in Seattle. It's pretty hard to get into, and he went to this art school. So not only is he an artiste, but he's a graphic designer, and he is amazing at this kind of stuff. And he is open to commissions. So I did pay him for this. I did pay him a flat rate for making this design for me. But fun fact, he's actually also getting paid royalties. We have a royalty agreement set up and a contract set up. So every purchase that you guys make, he is going to get a small cut of that purchase as well. So not only if you purchase from us, you're supporting me and my small business, but you're also supporting him and his small business. And also, if you guys like his art, I'm going to link all of his stuff down below. So I'm going to link his Etsy shop. He has an Etsy shop and also his website. So if anybody is interested in commissioning anything off of him, you can also contact him yourself. He is open to that if anybody is interested. But if not, then of course you can just support us by purchasing one of these. So let's see what else we have. So I'm working with Bonfire is the clothing brand. So it is print. I got them really fast, but basically it's print per order. So it's not like I have a bunch of stock, so they will ship it out to you. They'll print it and ship it out to you. If you do it in the next couple weeks, you should have it in time for Halloween. I got mine in like less than a week and a half. Mind you, I'm in the US, so it's probably a little bit easier to get it to me, but they still are very fast. So if you order now, as well as the fact that they are size inclusive and there's so many options. So we have crop tops, there's women cuts, there's most unisex cuts for anybody. That's what I got, but there's crop tops, there's sweatshirts, there's crew necks. I think we have a few tank tops in there. We have women's cut. I will have the merch also. Of course, I will have it linked below and I'll probably I'll try to make it into the storefront, like integrate it into YouTube storefront so that it's right there so you can shop around. And I just really hope that you guys love it as much as I do. Okay, I think that's enough about the merch. Let's get back to it and actually talk about Smart Schoolboy 9. So Smart Schoolboy 9, like I said, I want to explain it to people that might be kind of confused on what's going on. So what you need to know is that this entire situation all takes place on Instagram, and the vast majority of the mystery all relates to Instagram accounts. We first all became aware of this account back in April, and internet sleuths got interested and went on to figure out that there is a handful of accounts that seem to all be associated, and we have pretty good reason to believe that they are all run by the same person. The person running these accounts seems to be a grown man who dresses up as a child and has very, very strange makeup on. Additionally, the person running all these accounts are posting very, very creepy pictures of children. It is not outright CP, obviously, that would not stay on Instagram, but it is photos of children in a way that would suggest there's nefarious intentions behind it. Okay, so that's everything in a nutshell. Let's go back to the beginning. April 15th, 2024, on the subreddit r/Instagram, an account called Numerous Cut 792 posted a weird Instagram account that they had found. Their post was titled "Creepy Accounts Pretending to be Kids." They posted a few screenshots that I have to blur out, explaining that they were looking through Instagram Reels when they came across a very strange video. They clicked on the profile and it led them down a huge rabbit hole. They noticed the posts on these accounts seemed to show photos of children. Some of them are definitely real children, but others looked like AI, if not just very, very edited. Now, for that reason, I do have to censor a lot of this video. I can show you some of the Smart Schoolboy 9 stuff because he's a grown man and the perpetrator, allegedly, but I'm going to leave out any pictures of the children, whether they are AI or not, because it's potentially illegal material, let's just be honest, but also whether it's AI or not, it's still real children, because remember where AI comes from. That's the argument against AI right now and why people get mad at creators, rightfully so, that they're using AI in thumbnails or in the videos and stuff, and that is because AI is arguably art theft, because AI takes real art and other things from the internet and makes it into something else and is therefore theft. And I think a similar argument can be made here, where just because it's an AI child, where did the AI get those images to create that AI image? From real children. So it doesn't really matter. All that to say is I'm not going to show any of the children in this video for the sake of not spreading them further than they've already been spread. So for example, one of the accounts that we believe is related is one called Schoolgirl Teresa, And the bio on this Instagram account says Christian schoolgirl, age 16, competent writer. She only has 23 followers and is only following 30 people and has 94 posts. So there seems to be a theme in these accounts where it says like the teen's name, it says their age. They're always a preteen or early teen, which, you know, is obviously creepy. And then it often says in the bio that the account is run by the mom or a parent, which is obviously to get around the guidelines of Instagram, where you're not supposed to be a child with an Instagram account. But then, of course, it just gets so much worse when you realize what these are supposed to be. And there's no other way to say it. There's no way to skirt around it. It's fetish content. The pictures of children, especially the AI children, they're always in school uniforms. They are always edited in a way that it's very clear it's supposed to appeal to a certain kind of person, aka predator. For example, high heels. High heel mini boots is something that you're going to see if you look up anything around this case, is a common theme. The person posting on these accounts seems to be obsessed with not only high heels, but specifically high-heeled mini boots. On the Smart Schoolboy 9 account, before it was deleted, of course, the man who's dressing up as a child seems to be obsessed with the mini boots, often seems to showcase them in the posts about him, either pictures of them in the corner or him wearing them. Then there's obviously a leg thing happening because a lot of the photos of these children will be edited in a way where the legs are like stretched out and seem longer, and then often posed with, you know, the schoolgirl outfit and their legs crossed. Now, this sounds very normal to us, people that are not creeps, and we would look at these pictures and be like, okay, they seem pretty mundane, even though they are obviously creepy. But to the wrong type of person, just like there's an argument for not having your children anywhere on the internet, because the wrong type of person can construe things in a way that is really dark and illegal. The other theme that you see across most of the accounts is that either the children and Smart Schoolboy himself is always wearing makeup, and wearing very, very, very pale makeup with usually big red lips. So some people speculate that this is a fetish involving that kind of eugenics, like I don't know if we're allowed to say the word or not. I couldn't figure out if it was a slur or not. I don't think it is, but it's basically the race that the Nazis thought was superior, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, light, pale-skinned person. And some speculate that that's part of the whole fetish, is that these very, very pale people with very red lips.
Hi, editing Hannah here. Really quick note. The other thing I've seen, which has come up more recently about a theory, is that if it's not the race thing, like the pale skin race thing, that a lot of people are speculating now that it's like a body thing, like bloated features and really pale skin and stuff like that. And yeah, so do with that what you will. I have no opinion either way, but just putting it out there.
And then just, of course, there's a lot of photos that, again, seem mundane to the average person who's not creepy or perverted, but to the right type of creep would be very, very nefarious. So children in suggestive poses, children in bathing suits, again, not doing anything weird, like just hang out with each other, but to the wrong people, it's gross. So keep that in mind. I'm sure many of you, if you've never heard of this, do want to go see what these photos look like. Keep that in mind. I don't think you'll be added to a list or anything like that, because there is nothing overtly CP out there. It's just that they're being edited and used in a way for a certain type of person, if that makes sense, which that's the nature of the creepiness. It's not the photos themselves. It's the fact that there's a creep editing them in a way to their liking, which is not a victimless crime. You're exploiting children. And then probably the most creepy part of all of this is that there are actually videos and photos of real children. There is one video of him floating around where he's actually chasing a real child and filming it. So we are going to get into testimonies later of people who have actually met this man in real life, but we got to go through a few more things first before we get there. But just know that's the tip of the iceberg of his creepiness. So according to the subreddit about this mystery, there have been at least 8 accounts associated with this same man, this man who dresses up as a child and posts about it. So they are the 2 main accounts are Smart Schoolboy 9, which is the one you hear about the most, and then there's Truth Sticks 11. That is the other account that seems to be posting very similar stuff to Smart Schoolboy 9, and people figured out it's the same person just because the typing style, the editing style, but also the voices on the post. The voice that he has is very distinct, and it seems to be the same person. Now, mind you, both of them have been since deleted, but the other accounts that were supposed to look like children's accounts, and all these children, all these accounts, by the way, all this handful of accounts followed each other. So they would follow each other and comment on each other's stuff. So there's an account called Stunning Stephanie, which has been deleted. New Girl 12, confirmed, deleted. 12 Stockwell Joanne 12, Lyricist David, Stephanie Schooley, and Schoolgirl Teresa. I'm pretty sure all of those have since been deleted. I don't think that there's really any out there. If you find them, most of them are just trolls and copycats at this point, just FYI. It's archived, but for the most part, the actual active accounts on Instagram are no longer there. So, okay, so summarize. Do you get it? Everybody with me? So there's a handful of Instagram accounts that are almost certainly run by the same adults, but they're pretending to be children and posting creepy things as if they're children. And then all these accounts are interacting with each other. Like they made a group of friends that are all the same person, and it's like they're role playing all together that they're all friends and commenting on each other's stuff and making posts about like, oh, my Stephanie goes blah, 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 blah. It's creepy. We'll react to that in just a second. Okay, so the Smart Schoolboy account itself, the original bio once said, primary school achiever, mixed race, and mastering millions of subjects. Eventually, account monitored by mom. But of course, looking at the account, it's abundantly clear this is a man dressed as a schoolboy and acting like a child. He's actually a man in his 50s. He's allegedly 59. He lives in the UK, allegedly somewhere in London now because he allegedly got kicked out of the Doncaster area for being a creep. His name is David. A lot of the name you're going to see out there is David Walter Alter. I'm not going to bother censoring the rest of his name because it's literally everywhere and he's pretty much a public figure at this point. We also know police are involved. I don't think that's his real name either. I think he has a different last name as well. But for the sake of clarity, I'm not going to bother censoring it because everybody knows. So what's the point? So like I said, he was allegedly in the Doncaster area, but was allegedly kind of pushed out of that area for being creepy and a predator. And he now allegedly lives in London. We don't know for sure though. I'm saying allegedly a lot to protect my ass because most of this, other than the accounts itself, is alleged. So like I said, his original account has been deleted, but thankfully somebody on YouTube named Redwine is the username, archived both of the accounts. So let's watch a few minutes of the archived Smart Schoolboy account so that you guys can kind of get an idea of what was happening when this was all active.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm on the school bus. Sorry.
There's a picture of the boots.
Okay. School. School.
The caption on this one says, the Monday evening children's club I go to is really good. I go there sometimes directly after school, and in this video, the first clip is where I'm nearly home, and then there's a second clip where I've just come home. So typing like a child. School is nice. More boots. This post says, I'm about to go to school. He makes that noise all the time. I'm so sorry. It's disgusting. I know. This caption says, in this video, I start off by saying, these mini boots are mine. And in the next clip, I say, school is good. And then there's a cool clip from my fave school series, which is Grange Hill. So that's not children. Those are actors from movie and or series. It's so weird. This one has a picture of my heeled boots, mini boots, always the mini boots on the screen. Me saying chocolate, school books, being age 9 is good. And the caption says, so today at school, I'm bringing chocolate for my classmates. In my class at school, there are 11 boys, including me, and we are all age 8, 9, and nearly 10. This is an independent boys' school, and whenever I come top of my class, I choose what things we bring into school. Sometimes it's toys, games, stickers, or something we made at home, such as a nice cake. Boys can do kitchen stuff, and it is good. So you get the idea, right? Most of his posts were like that. Making that weird slurping sound that he's making with his mouth. It's, again, most people believe that he has some sort of, the pictures all look weird of him, that it is believed he has some sort of fake teeth in. So he's doing something with his tongue and fake teeth. And obviously he doesn't want to be recognized as a real person. He wants to disguise his identity. So he's wearing like fake teeth and then has a big, like, we think maybe he's stuffing his mouth with cotton or stuffing his mouth with something to also make his bottom half like all bulge out like that, because we don't believe it's prosthetics or a mask. We know it's not a mask, but we don't believe it's prosthetics because, again, later we'll talk about how many people have seen him out in the real world who live in the area, and they have said they've seen him and it's not a mask, it's makeup. And so he must do something to his face to make it all bulgy and also make those disgusting slurping sounds. So then there's the fighting predators thing of this whole saga. So Smart Schoolboy, on another theme on some of the accounts, is that he'll post articles calling out predators and talking about people who pretend to be kids' friends online to basically to groom them and lure them in or whatever. And it's just so unbelievably bizarre because, obviously, for the irony reason, because he's doing the exact same thing. Like I said, keep in mind if you are off to investigate this yourself, obviously do not contact somebody who you think is this person. We'll talk about that later as well, but obviously don't contact them. You could hurt the investigation, but also keep in mind that most of the accounts up are trolls, so none of them are real anymore. None of them are actually David/Smart Schoolboy. Just keep that in mind. But there are archived posts of Truth Sticks 11, the other main account, had a warning against predators to parent. Quote, being the mother of this lovely, clever boy is a treat, but children and parents need to be fed proper and practical info also. For starters, be aware of predators pretending to be young boys online and asking real boys if they're hungry and pretending to be delivering free food. They don't need to know a child's address. The predator appears kind, asking if a child could collect a meal from a vehicle parked nearby. But unless you know the individual, please do not let your child go up by themselves. We'd never be fooled by pedos. We don't know for sure why he's doing this. I can only think of a couple plausible explanations, being that he's either in denial. If this man is in fact allegedly a PDF file, if he is that, he's posting things like this to make himself feel better, to make him feel like he's evening out his bad acts, like he knows what he's doing is wrong. So he is posting these things in order to make it appear like he's trying to protect children, or that this might all be a project to raise awareness, as a disguise. But like, maybe he's just in denial, and so he thinks posting these things will like even out his karma, basically, and so it's making him feel less guilty about doing these things and having this fetish / PDF file mentality. And so it's making him feel better by posting these things. It's either that, or like I said, he's trying to disguise the whole thing as an art project or an awareness piece, and he feels like if he posts stuff like that, then he's making it seem like, oh no, don't worry guys, I'm not actually doing these things. I'm just trying to tell you what it might look like so that you can protect your own children. So it might be a cover, or there is the other option that, again, if he is in fact a PDF, that this is part of the fetish, that this is part of the whole thing, that he is warning people against predators while secretly being one, and that's part of the whole game. I don't know for sure, but that's just my guess. So let's deep dive now into the 1999 incident, as well as other people who have allegedly, reportedly, anecdotally seen this man around the Doncaster area and has said what he's like. So this all stems from on the official Reddit. There is a post. It was posted on October 21st, 1999. It was a user called Don E. Ladd who posted the following. Anyone who's been into the North Bridge Doncaster Tesco's, which I believe is like a gas station store kind of thing, on a weekday evening regularly will know what I'm talking about. At first, many months ago, I thought it was just a released into the community care weirdo with a severe skin complaint. However, last week, whilst working on the town center lighting, I saw it without a charcoal and blusher combination face covering, blank style permed ginger hair. Remember, this was 1999. I wouldn't say that today. Embarrassingly too small half-mass circulation stopping schoolboy uniform and a ridiculously high girls' platform shoes. It was stood without makeup outside the Christchurch gents' toilets for hours on end. I saw police twice asking it to move on without arresting it and continued to frequent the toilets. A couple of weeks ago, me and the missus were going through to the next checkout from this freak. As usual, most of the staff were taking their breaks early to see the show, security guards falling apart with laughter. And we heard the elderly female cashier ask, while blatantly struggling to keep a straight face, "Do you have a club card?" It replied very seriously, "Of course not. I'm only 13. I found out from another Tesco employee that it gave the same reply to that question every time. The guy is about 30 years old and over 6 feet tall, platform shoes included, and apparently a locally well-known, now don't say that in real life just in case, but is a term for a male young sex worker. I believe that's probably derogatory, so I would not say that. I'm saying that in quotes because that's what this person said. Obviously, this person also has used some other choice words that I would not use, but, you know, again, 25 years ago. So the other comical thing is that it appears to have very tight rubber bands around its clothes, making it look a bit like a trussed up turkey. Weird. In short, it's like Monty Python meets Quentin Crisp meets Just Williams meets a very poor attempt at the black and white minstrel show. Somebody tell me I'm not seeing things and going crazy. Someone else here must have seen it before. Confirm to the others that I am not joking. So this is not good enough proof, in my opinion, that this is the same person. We simply don't know. Like, this is circumstantial at best. Now, does it sound like he's describing the same person? I mean, yes, to be fair, it does sound very much. We got the heels, we got the schoolboy uniform. He was around 30 years old, and if he's 50, in his 50s now, allegedly 59 specifically, about 25 years ago, he would have been in his early 30s, so that makes sense. Him pretending to be a little kid, all of it, the same area, it is matching up. Like, it's likely this is the right person, but I just want to make sure people remember that solid evidence is needed in this case. And unless somebody has an actual picture of this man walking around in 1999, I will not say 100% that it is the same person. You have to be careful. I mean, if this was a trial, a judge would throw that piece of evidence out because it's not solid enough. There's no actual solid proof that this is the same person. However, on the likelihood that it is the same person, that means this has been going on for a very long time, that he has been doing this for decades. So other people in this same area has said that they have anecdotally said that they have seen him around as well. And several people have attested to the fact that if you look at him and if he catches you staring at him, he will blow raspberries at you or make other weird noises. I know there's the whole salad finger side plot, but I'm not going to get into that for this video. This video is going to be long enough, but for those that don't know, Salad Fingers is somebody that lives in that area. That was a whole other web series famous internet mysteries thing. He lives in that area, and he was contacted and claims that he also remembers this person. But people say that he really dresses like this in real life every day, that he really does act like a child in real life. There's also Facebook threads of people in the area talking about this, and it's funny because they're also saying like, well, I just saw that this blew up online. We've been dealing with this man and seeing him for many, many years acting like this. Several people on those threads have claimed that he has either followed or sometimes stalked them. One person claimed that they were working when he came in to the cigarette counter, you know, where they keep cigarettes, alcohol, and lotto tickets and stuff. And he came in to buy cigarettes. And he told this person behind the counter, "You naughty lady selling cigarettes to a schoolboy." And then one of the other people working there was allegedly staring at David. And then David allegedly started chasing the person staring at him and screaming after them, "Stop staring at me. I'm only a schoolboy." Now, objectively, is this hilarious if we didn't have all the other terrible, terrible stuff going on with this, and for the fact that he wasn't exploiting real children? I mean, yeah, objectively, if you saw that, what the hell else would you do except for uncomfortable laughter? A grown man acting like a child saying, "Stop staring at me, I'm only a schoolboy." I'm sorry, but what else would you do other than uncomfortable laughter? But unfortunately, since this involves real children, it's no laughing matter. But if you did laugh at that, like, don't feel guilty. I laughed when I read that writing this script. So allegedly this has been going on for many, many years, possibly decades. And like, we have videos of him chasing real children, taking videos of real children without parent permission. Like, I can't imagine any parent would give him permission to do that. And it just goes on and on and on. So it's definitely safe to say that I would believe, with all of that anecdotal evidence combined with dozens of people saying that they've seen this man, I would say that there's probably merit to those reports. So as you've learned today, this is not an ARG. And yes, another very important thing to clear up is that the police are involved. This has been reported to them many times, and they are allegedly aware of him and hopefully currently investigating him. So you may be thinking, why? Like, he is really, really creepy, but he's not technically doing anything illegal, right? Well, actually, yes. So in the UK, they have something called the Copin scale. It's either Copin or Copine scale. It's something that law enforcement uses in both Ireland and the UK to basically determine the severity of exploitative child material. So the scale itself is rather detailed. I don't want to risk putting it up on the screen because it's rather graphic and disturbing. You can find it on Wiki if you want to see the whole thing. But it's, I mean, especially if you're a victim of CSA, it might be really, really triggering, just FYI. But basically it goes from like least severe to the most severe. So the least severe category I'll read for you is indicative. And this is defined as, quote, non-erotic, non-sexualized pictures showing children wearing either underwear or swimsuits from either commercial sources or family albums. Picture of children playing in normal settings in which the context or organization of pictures by the collector indicates inappropriateness. So in layman's terms, it's photos that shouldn't be explicit and should not be considered sexual by anybody, but the wrong type of person turns them into that. Now, it gets worse and worse from there. The most severe form on the Copin scale is, you know, Peter Scully, Daisy's Destruction type stuff. And then there's everything listed in between. Like I said, not going to go into graphic detail because it's triggering as hell. But a lot of the content that this man, David, has posted is illegal. A lot of the stuff he has posted, and that's why I can't show you any of the photos too, because a lot of the material is considered illegal to post because it is innocent photos of children playing, some photos of children in swimsuits, not doing anything bizarre, not doing anything weird, in a completely innocent context. And there's photos and videos, but because it's in this context and because he's posting it and making these captions and these are not his children and he's following strange children around and doing this, that is why it may be considered illegal and it may be considered a form of CP. There is not definitive proof that he has actually harmed a child. We don't know, so I'm not going to say one way or the other because we don't know if he's actually physically been in contact with the children or harmed children, but we do know that where he lives, he cannot be posting shit like this in this context. It's illegal. So according to Reddit and other groups, not only has this been reported to the local police in Yorkshire, but it's also been reported to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, as well as many other child safety groups. So there are authorities on this. Thankfully, the internet actually did the right thing in this case and actually is trying to get this person at least investigated. Unlike some creators in our niche who decide to just make a ton of accusations without any sort of proof and without getting the local authorities involved like they should in the first place, and instead of harming the investigation, the proper channels do seem to be taken in this case. But that is also why I've been saying alleged and why so much of this is speculation at this point, because we know for a fact that there is a grown man dressing up as a child posting creepy stuff on the internet. We know for a fact that in the area where this is, some of that is considered illegal. All that is not alleged, that is all known as a fact. But everything beyond that is alleged and speculation at this point. David, again, is the alleged perpetrator, but until there's an actual mugshot of him from the police with his name on it, I think it's dangerous to call out somebody's actual name without an alleged or suspect behind it, you know? Don't just say that it's this guy, because just, you know, be careful, because you just never know. And there would be nothing worse than throwing somebody under the bus who is innocent, right? And while we know that whoever's behind this is exploiting children and that some of the stuff is illegal, we don't know if they are a danger to the public or if they are actual physical predator. We just don't know, and the police are not saying at this point. So that leads us into our next point, is that there's a lot of rumors going around that he has been arrested, and that is another thing. That is a rumor. That is speculation. We do not know for a fact that he has been arrested. We know police are aware because this has been reported to his local police, but the police have come out and made a statement saying that they will not confirm if the man, David Walter Alter, whatever you want to call him, is involved or is not involved at this time. They are not coming out to say that. So we do not know, so stop saying you know. If you hear it from some rando person that says that, no, I saw he got arrested, blah, 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 until it's actually confirmed by authorities, please do not spread that rumor. We don't know. And there's probably a reason we don't know. The police, of course, are not perfect. I'm not saying I don't have criticisms of police all over the world. However, in investigations like this, it's often important for them to keep it close to the chest and not release information. As we know, that's what they were doing in the Gabby Petito case. That's what they've done in countless cases. They do not come out with public information until it is safe for the case to do so. I just think that because this case has gone to the police and because the proper authorities are involved, I think that we just need to make sure we keep it that way. The last thing we want is for anyone on the internet to fuck this up or anybody to make it so that he will walk free. So that being said, here's a list of things to do and not to do. The first thing, remember that everything except the public accounts did exist and they did contain illegal material from the Copen scale. Everything else is alleged. Those are the only facts that we know. Secondly, remember that every account that you find online of this guy or related to this guy at this point is now fake or a troll. Pretty much none of them can really be confirmed for sure because there's so many trolls and copycats out there now. So just remember that if you think you're investigating, you might not be. David, the alleged perpetrator, deleted all the accounts after this went viral. Fancy that. He deleted a bunch of them because he didn't want this to go viral. He wanted to stay in his own little corner of the internet and not have anybody see this. And I think he panicked and deleted everything once this started to go viral. Third, all information about David's supposed arrest and the investigation are only rumors at this time. Nothing has been confirmed by actual authorities yet. And last, that is why that is so important that you do not contact anybody who you think is David or anybody you think is involved in this case at this time. If you have a concern or you think you've seen him or you've seen something illegal, call the local police and let them know. You should not approach anybody. You should not DM anybody that you think is a perpetrator or you think is involved in this case. That will only make David delete more evidence. And if we contact him or if we accidentally F up this case in any way, we might be the reason that David goes free if he is guilty of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we could be the reason that this case gets botched. And I think that is why the police are not saying and are staying close-lipped at this time, because they don't want the fact that this is viral to make it to botch the case and to mess it up. They have to cross their T's, dot their I's, and make sure that if they do want him to be arrested, it has to be all above board. Now, do you guys want to know my theory about this whole thing? I am so sorry for all the protective language. I have to be very, very careful because this is an ongoing case and I don't want to mess anything up. So everything that I'm about to say is speculation on my part. It's an opinion, not stated as fact. I have no freaking clue what is really going on. Nobody does except for David and hopefully the police soon. This kind of goes without saying at this point, but I do not think that this is an ARG, an art project, or a troll. I personally believe that he has purposely made all these accounts and all of the posts very strange and weird on purpose so that people will pass them off as somebody with a mental illness or somebody that's just trying to troll or be weird on the internet, like so many other internet mysteries end up being ARGs or art projects or trolls. I think he knows that if it's such a small account posting just weird stuff, most people won't think much of it and will go on with their day. And I think that's why this flew under the radar for so long. I do believe that in one way or another, this was originally created to be fetish content. I think that the person behind this account knows exactly where the line is for what they can post on Instagram and not be flagged, and I think they toe that line very deliberately and very carefully. We do not know, of course, if he is a PDF, if he is just doing this for himself, or if he has other PDF community members, whatever you want to call them, who he's making all these accounts for, who are also seeking this stuff out. Or for all we know, he made all these accounts, but there's other people interacting with him behind the scenes. All in all, my theory is that this is a big role-playing game for him. I don't think he would have put this online because it's blatant evidence against him unless it was some sort of obsession that he had. So there are many rumors going around on Reddit, again, not confirmed for sure, but there are many rumors that David himself was a CSA victim as a child, that is most likely what happened, that he was abused as a child and most likely quite the victim himself and had some sort, again, alleged speculation that he had some sort of then therefore arrested development, that as he grew, he never grew out of that state. And it is now also the way he learned what love and relationships is, and now in many people's opinions continuing the cycle of abuse on others. But I think he created a tiny little role-playing world to play out his fantasies on. So I think he made a bunch of accounts and then they all follow each other, and then he posts all this stuff and then pretends like they're not him. He pretends like they're real children interacting with each other, and he gets to play out these very, very weird, sick fantasies in real time, and then go back and read all the interactions these accounts have had with each other, and that feeds into the whole little game, for lack of a better word. So does that make sense? I feel like it's kind of like he's writing a book, you know, like kind of like writing his own fantasy book about what his ideal world or group of children would be. And he's writing it out so that he can sit back and read it all and read them all. And it feels more real because all these accounts are interacting with each other, so we can pretend like they are real people. So I think he's towing the line of appropriateness so that he doesn't get flagged on Instagram, so that he can keep all this little thing up until it became a viral thing that everybody's talking about, and he was forced to take it down because obviously it's a bunch of evidence against him. But that is my overall opinion and theory based on what I know of the case, that this is some weird role-playing thing. I would personally believe, again, I won't believe it for sure until I know that there's actual evidence against him. I know there is some evidence against him, but there's not like actual evidence proven in a court of law that he is actually a predator. But I would say that from what we know, it definitely is not looking good. He's looking creepy, you know what I mean? So that is my take. Let me know what you think, I guess, in the comments below. I'd be curious to know your guys' opinions on this. I know that a lot of people are talking about this right now. I know that this has gone absolutely viral and that pretty much everybody and their mother is discussing this at the moment. So, like I said, please keep it civil. Please remember that everybody's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. At least that's how it is in the United States. So please, please, please keep that in mind. We do not want to botch the case. We do not want to get somebody innocent in trouble. We just have to tread very, very lightly when it comes to serious allegations like this, okay? And that's all they are right now. They are allegations. And I also just feel for, even if the children involved in this don't know it, they are still victims. And it's still incredibly exploitative, creepy, and illegal to be posting anybody's children without their permission, and especially in a different context that appeals better to you, regardless. Like, even if you took all creepiness out of this, that in itself is still wrong. Okay, that's gonna be it for today. Don't forget to check the merch out. BRB gonna be living in this stuff from now until eternity. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to all the patrons. Of course, our newest top tier patron this week is Lonnie Van Natter. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Okay, goodbye.